Hello everyone, welcome. We're going to kick off the week with a best of three. We did a lot of premiere towards the end of last week, so I promised a best of three to kick off on Monday, and here we are. And it does change quite a bit, I think, at the end of packs, especially in this format. Best of three. A lot of cards in best of one that I'm not even really seeing at the end of packs that I see quite a bit more here in best of three land, where you can actually envision yourself bringing that card in for a good effect in the second or third game as needed. And I think that helps leverage our skill. There's a sideboarding skill advantage that we get to leverage with that, and it also helps us leverage our overall skill advantage, since if we're above 50%, we are more likely to win a best of three match than a best of one match, because our best of one is just going to be whatever above 50% we are. But best of three, I get to leverage that advantage over the course of 3 games to try and win 2 of them. And so my chances of winning a best of three match are even higher than my chances of winning a best of one, given my win rate above 50%. So we want to leverage those advantages the best we can in this queue. If you want to leverage the advantages of Magic Retail, you're going to put Card Kingdom high on your list of places to check out when you need something for your physical game. They are purveyors of everything you need for your tabletop Magic experience, whether it's supplies, singles, or sealed product. They got it all, or most. If they don't have it, they're trying to get it. I can guarantee you that. And when they do have it, they're going to offer a fair price. They're going to get it to you quickly, and it's going to be in exactly the condition you expect, which is more valuable than it seems sometimes. And it's just that reliability factor that's huge. And of course, I want to mention their buy list, which is industry leading. If you want to sell your cards for cash, there's truly no better one-stop shop than Card Kingdom for that purpose. And you show me a random collection that somebody besides Card Kingdom will pay more cash for when sorted and submitted, and I will be shocked. I will be stunned. So thank you so much, Card Kingdom, for your support. Appreciate it. And we're going to jump in here. Maybe I should have jumped in while we were talking about Card Kingdom, because this queue does take a little bit longer to fill and fire, but it does eventually. So we'll keep talking. Maybe not necessarily about CK, but how are we feeling about this format? I'm liking it. I have resisted saying anything about for a core set, or given that it's a core set, or especially for, like, my expectations for a core set are on the fun level, on the quality of draft, on the this is a great Magic experience level. I hold them to the same standards that I have them on for any other set. R&D has been making sets for Limited for a long time now, and they're good at it. And they should be able to take any set and craft an excellent draft format out of it with a little work and a little luck. And so that's really what I think my expectations are for a core set. So I don't... there's no grading on a curve just because for Limited, just because it's a core set. My expectation is that it'll be less complicated, but that doesn't have to impact fun one way or the other. I think you want to change. You want your diet to have some differences, so you don't always want to have the same same diet. But interesting. Well, this whale pursues us pretty heavily. Funny. But I wonder if it's even the pick. We've got a Twotelage and we've got a Scorching Dragonfire that may be better first picks than a Pursued Whale at this point. So I'm gonna do a poll. I only have like 20 seconds, but Whale or Fire or Mill. There you go. Hopefully I didn't misspell anything, but with how fast the clock is going, I didn't have a lot of time. Let's see, did I get it? All right, I didn't misspell anything. Those are the picks, I think. I'm kind of leaning Twotelage. It's a good place to start, but Dragonfire planting a foot in red is nice too. Mill, yeah, interesting. Very close. All right, we'll take the Twotelage first. Close call there. If you're any kind of gem conscious, you can certainly take the whale. The whale is a fine pick there, and if gems are on your mind, go for it, you know. A lot of black here. We could just take the wizardry. These are kind of not the same game plan, but what are we taking here? If not, we could Thrill. Maybe Thrill doesn't wheel is like the thing. Historically, I've barely like I don't really pay attention to Thrill because it so consistently wheels, but I don't know if it does enough here such that we should maybe take it over the wizardry. But it does wheel sometimes, and not every deck wants this. No, sorry, chat draft. If there's a channel points thing for chat, I was trying to turn that off, and then I think I accidentally turned off the whole system, so I turned it back on. I'm going to, yeah, in this bad pack, it's not going to wheel, but I think I'm going to take wizardry. Now I'll take Thrill. It goes along with our first pick perfectly, right? This is a pair. If we're going to do this, let's try and do this, and especially in a pack like that didn't offer us any pull, any reasonable pull elsewhere. See the Truth is a rare, effectively a rare card that doesn't actually interact with the tutelage because it puts it in your hand, you don't even draw. I put it on Opt as a no-brainer working with tutelage, but we're talking Tide Skimmer. I haven't really played. 2 or more creatures with flying, so it starts with itself. Yeah, we can take the Skimmer and not prioritize an Opt here. Yeah, the rare Anticipate that doesn't actually draw a card is the problem. But again, with the gems, I've been off of rare drafting because we're gem independent on this account, but I would absolutely take this on an account that expected to 4X and needed gems. I'm going to take the Skimmer for trying to make it work. I've not really played with this before. Oh, what's this? This is a rare that's half color. Flash, 2/1. Enters the battlefield, return another target creature you control to its owner hand. If you do, gain life. So it can rescue something, and it can redo ETB ETB effects. We could take, what else is here? Kerr. Wall of Runes is totally reasonable in a deck that's trying to win with this plan. This is interesting, and I kind of want to try her out, but I think if we are following this tutelage, we do actually want a Wall of Runes. We want to cut the blue, and it does the job this deck is actually looking for. If this were just straight blue, I think I would take Niambi, but I'm gonna take the monocolored card here. Here's another Thrill. I feel like I'm maybe forcing this a bit, though. Like, I really want to make this work because it's so good, and we are getting the tools. Like, in the abstract, this isn't a bad first 5 cards, but it's not really open. So I'm worried that I'm going after something that's not super open here, but I'm also not finding, like, here's this training is why we go into green, right? This imp is why we, like, I just don't see I'm not getting the pull from the other colors is the thing. So I recognize that just because I'm starting here, I may be forcing this a bit, and I'm trying to keep an eye on that, but I also feel like the packs have been not good. Robert just wants the training on that front, but I'm gonna force it a bit because we also don't know yet whether the red is, like, it's all being cut or whether this is not in the packs. Like, a Magmut here is pretty good. Arcanist would be pretty good. Yeah, green-blue could be a tutelage deck. You're right, Robert. That's a totally reasonable support for your pick. That being said, I am going to go with Magmut here narrowly over the Arcanist. If we're red-blue spells, the Arcanists go up a little bit, but I still don't think they're better than Magmut. Okay. Arousing Reed. A lot here suggesting that red-green is a place we could be. We could take Leafkin Avenger and bank towards that, but Rousing Reed goes right along with what we're doing. And it's starting to make me feel a little better that that maybe we weren't just getting cut hard to our right, but the packs were maybe light in red and blue, because this is a really good card to still be here. So hopefully that's a better sign. And also, Rousing Reed does create a flyer out of a non-flyer to help the skimmer, as does Glide Master here. Turn to Slag, though. I think we do continue towards the red-blue. And so now it's about the 2-drop or the Slag. Slag's pretty replaceable. So yeah, let's... maybe it's not close, but it's worth talking about. I mean, this is removal, right? I still want a Slag. It can get enough to be worth running, but 5 mana removal is awfully clunky in the format. But yeah, 2-drop creatures are so important. This is interesting. Saying that I haven't really played with the skimmer before, and of course, 2 of them work together. And if we can get, and with Rousing Reed and Glide Master, looks like we may be able to get some triggers off the skimmers if the air is clear. This can help us. Yeah, I guess we'd actually run this golem, right? If we get into a mirror or are up against Oppo milling us, we can potentially stop that. And like, it probably starts in the board, but it's in a best of 3 with a mill deck. This is a nice sideboard card to have, so we'll put it in the board for now. But I'm quite happy to have that. Silent Dart also might go in the board. I don't think we're going to be a Frost Breath deck. It doesn't look like it. Although, I don't know, we could pivot towards aggro from here, given the Mutt and the Glide Master and the Reed. But Twotelage isn't really looking to be tempo-oriented. But I think I'll take the Frost Breath for color signaling. And we'll put it in the board. Funny, this wheels. Well, we'll take the gems here for sure. I don't think we're running that. I'm going to take a Prismite in case of desperation playables. Silent Dart or Rookie Mistake. Are we ever playing Rookie Mistake? I just can't see it. So I'll take Silent Dart. Yeah, if white flows in pack 2, we could consider going ditching. I mean, we just have 2 Thrills and a Mutt. And the Frost Breath that we ended up with could end up supporting a blue-white skies approach. And yeah, I think a Reed is strong here, though. There's a Sky Scanner that you could argue for, given the double skimmer, though. So I do like the scanner, but in effect, Paul does too. But Paul, you could make the case that, like, if we're talking about wanting Sky Scanner because it supports the Tide Skimmer at 3 mana and drawing a card, well, that's exactly what this does, right? It at 3 mana draws a card and supports your skimmers. So I'm just gonna take the Reed. Fetters demands our attention, at least as a splash possibility. We have a Prismite, maybe we wheel this Cove, but we have this Overload. So probably just commit to our core strategy, our core leaning, which was tutelage, red-blue based tutelage. So, well, I'm saying Faith Fetters is that good, right? I mean, you can see that I've banked over to Overload, but when I see Faith Fetters in a pack where we were considering white, I do think it demands consideration, yeah. Disagree, Fenor, but anyway, I'm gonna take Overload. I hear you. We need targets for it, but we have a long draft to go here. I'm going to go with the rare 2-drop. Seems fine. Flying for the skimmers. Isn't really at home in a tutelage deck. I mean, I don't know what you mean. If we get the red removal we want, if we get the ops that we want, why wouldn't this be good in I don't understand why you'd think this isn't good in a tutelage deck. That doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, I'm going to take the Shacklegeist here. Waker is great. Actually, is kind of a backup win condition and another thing to do on 2. Empty of red, though. Let's take note of this pack. Red is gone. Yep, a lot of green. But is it good green? We've got Pteranodon, that's good green. We've got Training, that's good green. Sage, Spinner, Surge, Rebirth are all solid, right? You know, so this is, yeah, there's a lot of good green here. Waker, though. Spellgorger over Reed number 3 or Glide Master number 2 as we are looking to get more into the spell lane. And making one of these fly off the Reed is nice. I'll take this. Singer. Well, now we're kind of pivoting more towards an aggressive tempo-y build. Maybe we do end up playing the Frost Breath. Maybe this isn't even a tutelage deck. Fiddles is asking how many non so far. We're definitely low on non-creatures. Frost Breath number 2 could be part of, again, a pivot towards tempo aggro. Maybe so, Haj. Are you just observing what we've passed, or again, is there a spot where, I mean, I even talked about how I might have been leaning too hard in the tutelage. Did I miss a pivot is what I'm curious about. I'm gonna take the breath here. Yeah, I guess hexproof flying is reasonable, but if we do end up tempo aggro, I'll be happy to have these frost breaths. And on that front, boy, I mean, I guess I could even take a, like, do we possibly pivot into some reanimation here with the Waker? Like, yeah, with this, I guess I just take a Vessel. I'm not going to play this, so I'll take a Vessel on this long shot chance that somehow we're supposed to be pivoting. Speaking of pivoting, yeah, I mean, we can't, I mean, this is disgusting, Haj is right, but we can't take it here. I think we just take a Cliffs and be happy we have some fixing. I'm going to move this in the board, though. I don't think we're going to be doing that. And I don't think we're going to be doing this either, but we'll take it for the gems. Another Vessel. This Charger is good. Whoever, you know, as Haj said, the white has been flowing too here a bit for the white-green deck. Don't love the deck. I do believe we're in contested colors, and that's showing, but hopefully we want... Fenor thinks... I mean, I can't see us getting into white, but maybe I'm not... my imagination isn't as good as it should be. Well, instead we get... People are talking about what might pivot us into white, and nothing here pivots us into white, and we just take a Pilferer. Yeah, 15th pick Charger is something else. I mean, we can, like, I'll put... White is so open, I should put the Speaker in and the Defiant Strike in, just so we remember. I mean, we could get enough white to make a blue-white deck from here. It seems so wide open. Yeah, unfortunately, it's got evasion that doesn't help our skimmers, but we're still taking it. Mystery for possible green nonsense. Here's a shock to get going on our removal finally, or we could look to pivot to a feat. Feat is not good enough to hedge towards white when we have a shock option. We should just take the shock and be blue heavy, red light tutelage. All right, this helps with that. I think we want Augur, but help me out with this one, chat. Augur, Shock, and Immolator. My goodness. Let's, I'm even going to pull this. There's a Thrill, but we can't really take the Thrill. 10 seconds. Shock. I can't even do it. You just have to tell me. Augur, Shock, Immolator. Immolator is removal on legs, but Shock actually does the thing. All right, I'll take the Immolator. I'm going to take the Immolator. That's a tough one for me. But two-drop creatures are just always so valuable. Here, I think I like a Rain, though. We don't have a ton going on at 4. We want to be able to play this Overload for reasonable value. And the Shock and the Double Thrill help us with that to some extent. But Rain is the type of effect we want to both make our tutelage go and just make our Overload good. Wouldn't mind a Larcenist to put a Rousing Reed upon. Yeah, I don't know how much our game plan is tutelage. It's like turning into a hybrid or, you know, a tempo aggro type version of this deck. Yeah, Fenor, Fenor is expressing what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know, like, even though this pack one, pick one started us down this path, I don't necessarily think we are here. We can take a Cur here or a Hobble Fiend or Destructive Tampering. Oh yeah, there's a Sure Strike we could take. Yeah, I'll take a Sure Strike. We actually have a lot of 2-drop creatures right now, so getting some action there is interesting. And another Reed to contribute to that. Let's see, make sure I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Prismite if we play it. 6. I kind of want another 2-drop creature too. We'll take the, oops, I don't know what you're trying to do, but we'll take the Reed here. Triple Reed just makes me want even more 2-drop creatures though, so. Here we can get another Fixer that's really nice for us. But I do want, gosh, it would be nice to get one more 2-drop creature that we like. That not just, yeah, like this. Thank you, deck. Thank you, Magic Gods. Hobble Fiend or Magmut. I think with what we're doing here, Magmut's fine because we want to, you know, this is represents some reach in not in the mechanical sense, in the finish your opponent off sense. Ah, I've already used my one time. Darn it. Maybe the Magic Gods didn't notice. Here's another 2-drop, playable 2-drop. We'll absolutely run this, and I'll absolutely throw a turn 3 Reed on it if the situation permits. Yeah, well, here's another feat. In case you weren't regretting not being in white enough. I find that the feats are wheeling just because if there's not like 3 people in white and there's a lot of feats, then people don't need them. You know, they just don't end up drafting them because they don't want that many. But I feel like in green-white, you would play like 5 feats. Hey, Glide Master comes back. All right, we really got the hookup on 2-drop creatures here, and we get even one more to the point that I even maybe want a Destructive Tampering. But no, Hobble Fiend, let's lock in our 2s. Extra awesome. Chorister, second to last, is kind of crazy too. That's a good card right there. Hello, MTG Nerd Girl. How you doing? Well. I think we can, like, immediately go to 16 land for starters, and then figure out our 5 cuts. Not going to need to play a Prismite in this deck. Kind of do want the Frost Breath plan. Is that great? Like, do we just cut the Tutelage? This isn't really a Tutelage deck anymore. Don't want the Pitch Burn. This can be considered a 2. Don't want the Wall of Runes in that world. And then... I mean, what are we running Tutelage for if we do? I mean, at least it... I mean, this one... The nice thing about Tutelage is it does have its floor of being, like, loot. 3 mana loot. But... yeah, Glide Master could be a cut. What's our... but you want, if we want to put the Tutelage back in, we'd probably need to, like, cut a Frost Breath? Or do you want both of those? Whale is a non-bow with Tutelage, is true, but I think this does too much. I think this is just too good. You don't need to be Reanimator to be playing Waker. Like, this is either a fine 2-mana play or an excellent 7-mana play. We're already at 16. We could cut Sure Strike, but let's see. We want this Overload to be getting stuff, so let's make sure that our Overload is properly supported if we're going to cut something like a Sure Strike. See, that's what I was a little worried about. Like, we're actually not super supporting the Overload. I think we have enough, but we got to be very careful about cutting cards that Overload can get back. This is definitely a weaker deck for Overload, but even if there's 2 in the yard and we make a 2/2 and get back a spell that matters, that is reasonable. So, I don't know. I don't need it. I don't know. This is just not even how I visualize my... If it helps you all, just remind me and I'll do it. But I don't know. This isn't really even how I look at decks. So, or if I do, it's like I kind of have this view in my head. I don't know. Yeah, that view just doesn't help me as much as seeing this. Yeah, I think we can cut a 1 Glide Master. They get worse in multiples. What do you think of this? I'm going to say done and then come back in. Oh, look. I have a meme machine that I haven't redeemed yet. Sorry, Magic Star 1, but no problem. Look. My thing tells me that I owe you a meme. Mind you, it's yet another panel I have to be tracking, but given that I am always saying, do I owe anything? At least I can go look myself now. It's another panel to track, but at least it's a resource I can go look up rather than asking chat. Yeah, I don't want the wall in this deck anymore. We can certainly still have the Tutelage plan, and that's all right, but I think I like this, and got Mirage lands for Tron, which I'm going to complete now. These aren't pretty enough for Tron. The Mirage is also good. Also, I love it when Tron picks Mirage lands on days we're playing red, because I do love the Avon Mirage Mountain. And I want to make a Tutelage joke about being pulled in 2 directions. How about 2 Twotelage. And let's call that good and play some magic. Rob reminding that the my favorite basic lands, the Avon Full Arts from Unhinged, are going to be reprinted in Double Masters, which is someone who smartly purchased those lands a long time ago and has seen them go up in value. I'm mad because my cards are going to go down in value. But that's just a Magic player being a Magic player. All right, looks good. We got our 1-drop, which is a Swiftwater Cliffs. We've got 2 2-drops, including the Magmut and the Glide Master. Now a 3-drop in the Weird. Great. Well, I was thinking about making the Magmut fly. Like, our first question was going to be, do we play the Glide Master or the Magmut, knowing that we want to read whichever one we play? And I was thinking that I was going to do the Magmut and read it, but now we're going to Magmut into Weird. And try to put the Rousing Read on the Weird. And on my to-do list is to update the Weird Science meme to use this Weird, but I haven't done it yet. We'll get there. Looks like a mirror match so far. We're going to send in an attack and see if they do anything to this mutt before combat, which will help us know that the way is clear for the Weird. If we're afraid of the common... basically Force Spike, you know, counter unless you pay 1. We could play the Glide Master and thus not get the Weird countered. Also, yeah, another thing it could be is a Dragonfire, in which case we'd rather have them use their mana on one of these 2. So I'm going to play a little bit conservatively here and go with the Glide Master to play around counter magic and to draw out removal on our less valuable creatures. Okay, it was a frantic inventory, which of course if I knew I would play the Weird, but we were playing around some things, so I don't have regrets. It just, and also we don't even know, they might even have the counter spell. One of the nice things, you know, if you run a card like Frantic Inventory, it makes your counter spell type stuff better. Now we know we can't be countered, which means we might want to just land this Tutelage. You think they would have Dragonfired the dog? Maybe. But also, I was, again, playing around the counterspell as well. There were multiple things I was considering there. And now, I'm going to start with an attack. I'll trade the Immolator for either one of those. That's true. Could have drawn Swiftwater. I shouldn't have played that yet. Kind of unconsciously playing stuff out. Interesting they did it that way. I think I would have taken out the Magmut, but if they're worried about flyers, I could see the Glide Master being the bigger concern. Hodge wants to play Weird. If we play Weird now and Tutelage next, it grows the Weird. And if we draw a land, we potentially have Tutelage plus Sure Strike with the Weird. All right, yeah, let's Weird it. Oppo with a Weird of their own. I'm not going to re-trigger the meme given we just saw it, but we will go with a Tutelage here and see what we find. I'm going to ditch the Hobble Fiend out of these cards. Denied? Not for 1 mana, right? I mean, there's that weird uncommon, but that's for sorceries, right? I don't think there was a counter there. Miscast. Yeah, I don't think... Does Miscast get enchantments? I forget what it does. But I generally don't play expecting an opponent to run a Game 1 Miscast. I'm not... well, let's see. If it's opt, this would be a trade. I'm definitely not swinging the dog, but are we offering the weird trade is my question. Because we're about to get flying with it. I don't think we send anything. First, we're trying to mill out, so their life total doesn't matter that much. And, or not we're trying to. We have the ability to mill out, so we can all... If this is the plan, their life total doesn't matter. And I'd rather be patient for a turn. Mm-hmm. I should put my reminder up. I need my post-it notes. Where'd they go? This should work. All right, they're tapped out. We're gonna go for the rousing read here. Again, I played a land before I should. Bad happened to mine, but I did. Partly, though, I know I want to Sure Strike, have Sure Strike ready, so that was part of it. I knew I wanted untapped, but I still should be in the habit of doing this stuff before I play lands. I do, true. It's not the fact that I need to stop using, well, I was going to use, I know I wanted 2 mana as the reason to do that. I need to be in the habit of just not doing that, right? So... Interesting situation here with the rousing. Another rousing read in rain just makes me want to ditch the singer. And we should be able to get there on Twotelage at this point. Hodge says ditch the read, but I think read plus rain is like mill them out, you know? And sure, we can even start attacking, though. Like, I don't want to trade for the devils. So let's race. And I've got the Sure Strike to eat the devils, and then we can use Sure Strike, block the devils, and trade Sure Strike and a Magmut for the devils if we want. I'm not looking to use Sure Strike just for extra damage. Although it would be a lot, you know, it would have been 4 extra damage. Right, it's Sure Strike plus Magmut for the devils if we want. Or the weird, yep. That's what we'll probably do. Make them block the weird, make them do something to make it grow, and then we do the Sure Strike. If they Sure Strike into Sure Strike, it should still end up being a trade, right? So... This seems fine. And I'll remember to ping, remember to ping, remember to ping. I'm going to remember to ping. I just sit here saying ping. Totally remember to ping. I just got to go for it. They could counter this, but we're going to try and cast it eventually. I guess I can let this resolve, see if they want to do anything else. They don't want to do anything else. This is the proper time to do it. All right, we got it. And I pinged. I'm not going to play my land. I'm going to think about our moves. What? I did ping. You missed it. You must have missed my ping. Yeah, hold land for discard, and Yeah, I know, chat. I know it. I know it meets expectations, but I did actually manage it there. Let's just rain. Nah, I guess. Well, let's see. If we read, we can just read the mutt. Although rain, the thing about read, they didn't show counter or anything. We can read. It's safe to read. Reading is fundamental. Yeah, that's a good game. The thrill gives us another counter on weird. We have lethal now. Did we get him both ways? Close. Yeah, that was the thing, Timnos. There was nothing to play around because they showed their lack of interaction by not interacting with our combat on their turn. And we're in a mirror. They are looking more... okay, Fire Emancipation is good to see. 3 Frantic Inventories. Shipwreck Dowser. Goblin Wizard. So this is a... very much a mirror, but they're more in the spell-heavy version. We're kind of tempo aggro. They're spell, spell, spell. Thanks, Fiddles. We'll catch you. Yeah, Oppo's deck is nice. And makes me want to even bring in a Frost Breath. But what would I cut for it? Maybe the Waker. This is not the best spot for the Waker. I think we cut a Waker and play another Breath. Get it a little more low down. Makes our Overload a little better, and Breath becomes a better thing to get back with the Overload too. Keep the beats going. Cohesive plan. Yeah, maybe. I don't know how cohesive it is, but, you know, Emancipation is a plan. And Big Weirds are a plan. And drawing way more cards than your opponent is a plan. So I think attrition, spells matter attrition is enough of a plan. But I'm going to run with this. Nice. This is the early aggro we wanted. I'm going to start with the Mutt because if it gains Rousing Read, that's a lot better than a thing that's actually already flying. Hey, Tonga. Tongo. There's our Overload, speaking of. Right now, only a Frost Breath in hand to make it do something. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mutt, see if they got removal or counter. So far, as I say, we milled their deck pretty heavily, saw no counters. Did anybody see? We looked through their deck pretty deeply and didn't see any counters that I remember. That's somewhat of a scary development, but we're gonna Rousing Read. We're gonna probably pitch the Arcanist. We'll see. Maybe we pitch the Frost. I think we want to cast the Frost Breath. We want to find land and play the Skimmer, and just get tempo aggro in the air here. We have the color, and we want to play stuff on curve, so I'm going to ditch the Cliffs actually here. We want Skimmer next turn. See if this Mutt survives. Well, yeah, we saw most of their deck and didn't see any counters. It seems like the end of turn pauses, or we should expect frantic inventory as the explanation for what's going on with most of those pauses. We saw 3 of them at the post-game mill there. Wow, nice deck, Alco. I really like it. Hopefully we can beat it with our own tempo here, but... Ooh, nice. Shock to take out that second weird before it gets insane. Love it. In terms of what that means for this turn, though, I had been thinking we were going to skimmer, but now I'm going to shock the weird and probably just play Arcanist or Shacklegeist. Yeah, Shacklegeist. We don't need the mana from the Arcanist. Oh, that's right. Chat pointing out, it's easy, and I was just doing it, it's easy to get in the mindset with these cards that Tide Skimmer and one other flyer need to attack, right? It's not that Tide Skimmer and one other flyer need to attack, it's that 2 flyers need to attack, which we have. So we can actually play the Tide Skimmer and attack with it. This weird is getting big and scary, but I think we want to keep attacking here. Maybe we don't play the Skimmer, though. Let's see, what do we got? We got Shock. We can just go Frost Breath and really affect their ability to damage us before we get them. I don't think it's worth the card. This is a place where I just want the tempo over the card, I think. You agree? Because we could go land, Skimmer, and then do this stuff next turn. Right, that's what we're saying, Hat. So, and we're at 0, so I gotta make a decision. Alright, I'll just do this. I think we have the time, especially with the life gain off that land. Although I say that, and after Luis and Marshall's warning, I think I have the time. You know, blue-red is capable, especially with these, of just exploding on you, right? So, like, could we just be dead here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so we're just dead. There you go. That's my own fault. I took that risk and we lost the game on it. I'm not going to do that again. Nah, I took a greedy line there. I mean, hell, I listened to limited resources. Did you? I could have seen that coming and prevented it. Let's not fall for that again. I think we have the right deck, though. I'm gonna say done. Yeah, I don't think you can call that a punt. I thought it through and thought we were safe, and then we weren't. But I think, you know, if you really want to use punts accurately, it has to be no justification. Like, it was just a pure mistake. Like, that if you look at all the information, you simply never make that call. But it was not a great choice, and I'm not going to take those risks again against that kind of board. I'm going to keep this, but it's a little awkward. We do have the Shock, which I really like because they've shown double weird, and we get the weird on 3 if they go for that. You know, D, when I explain why it's not, I'm going to punt you for punting me. We're going to keep this, though, and I don't even know if I want to play the mountain and tip the Shock here. They could play something on 1 that we want to shock, but probably not. And here, though, I have to do it. At least with 2 mana, a lot more is represented. Trouble is, playing a mountain on 1 with a Shock that you don't intend to use just literally tells your opponent you have a Shock. Oh, Shacklegeist, how about you being a turn late? Buddy! Buddy! Shacklegeist into Singer into the Skimmers would have been so good. We could still go Shacklegeist, hold up Shock. I think I'm going to do that. It's, again, somewhat could tip our hand if Oppo is paying attention. But next turn could be their weird turn, and I really want to have the Shock up for end of turn if they go weird. And I'll try to auto pass quickly. See, what's the point of auto pass? Wizards, what is the point? I did it. I did the thing and it said auto pass, and then Oppo casts something and it stops for me. Like, what is the point? Wizards. It's like I hate features that just feel like a practical joke on you. Well, then what is the point of having that kind of complexity buried in the UI? Like, Shift Enter is the true F6. How discoverable. Hey, fool. Why should I know that by now? I should? I reject you telling me what I should know due to the crappy choices of some game designer. Let's see. Rousing Reed is probably the play here just to find us some more mana. So I'm going to do that. Sad because they both fly already. But let's do it. Cool, we got a mountain for the Shock at least. I'm going to give up... Boy, what do we give up here? Wow, this is a tough one. Kind of want to ditch a Tide Skimmer or even the Mutt. I'm going to ditch the Mutt, as crazy as that is. I just don't think we're casting that Mutt anytime soon. And yes, I'm exposing myself to a big turn from these goblins again, but at least I have a Shock ready this time. And at least we're winning the race this time. Yeah, we can even... Well, Overload is... Instant or sorcery, right? I don't know what... Oh, that's why you want to get the rain back. Sorry, I disconnected... I put the wrong end of the sentence on the wrong beginning of chat sentence. I like the Mutt pitch. I had my reasons. Well, we're gonna Shock that. Interesting choice. Okay. Huh. Wonder why they'd go for that. Oh, it's a spirit. That's why. Thank you. That's why they'd go for that. And that's why I put the Rousing Reed on the Shacklegeist. I was thinking, you know, if our opponent has a bunch of roaming ghost lights, we're totally going to want this Rousing Reed on a spirit. Tide Skimmer now does not actually do the thing. I like just, but we'll still play one. Play Cliffs in a Skimmer. You can't prove anything. Again, at 19, I mean, boy, opt, thrill, opt, or dead. Like, it could happen, right? I mean, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, they could actually go opt, thrill, kill you, right? But, oh no, even that wouldn't be enough, right? Not quite. Still gonna say no blocks. 9, yeah, it would need more than that. It would be a heck of a lot of damage, though, huh? Oh yeah, Sure Strike in there might do it. Another spirit, like, I can do the spirit thing. Tap 2 untapped spirits you control, tap target creature you don't control. We can tap... wow! That's unusual. Kind of like Overload, get shock back, keep a shock at the ready. Can we just win? I mean, if we go Overload Shock, how do they win? They tap down. They can't win from 17, right? If we go Overload Shock and attack with these two. This has, this can block us. Can we, we could shock it if they block the, right. So maybe then we do the spirit thing. How about we do the spirit thing then? Go Pilferer, Singer, and tap? Man, I really want the shock up, though. Alright. Alright. Let's do this and see what they want to do on their turn. Yeah, we're looking good for next turn if they don't wipe us out here from 17, which is pretty hard to do even with the old Goblin Wizards. Although Frost Breath here sets our lethal plan back. Yep. Now, where are they going with it? Okay, they're going to the 2 flyers that don't actually make us have to tap anything, because our 2 spirits are still available. I don't need to tap in response. Look, neither of these are spirits. I can still do it. Spirit. So this gives them a chance, like maybe they do another opt or something that would change our decisions. So are we drawing a card here? If we do, what does that get us? Like, we're spending 2 to draw a card. I'd rather just spend 4 to get a body and draw a card. We're going to do that. So I'm going to decline this. I think we need our mana more here. And are we attacking? We got the shock we can go get. Oh yeah, is it just dead? Let's see, if we go... Five, 6, 7, 1 damage short. Yeah, it's not quite. But I think I'm gonna go for Overload getting shock. Oh yeah, this isn't even a flyer. I think we still stay back. can maybe send the Yeah, let's kill a goblin now. And then... Are we attacking for 3? That's the question. Oh, that's true. Great, Haj, I was forgetting it's a high flyer. Like, we can't even block with this anyway. Although if we leave... I mean, these combine to tap something, but I think we just send. Nah, we don't need to tap if we just chump. The Pilferer can chump as well. I think we'd rather take that risk. If they don't have another Frost Breath, we present lethal in the air again. Alright, that's a nice one. Let's see what they can do here. Maybe we just get below... the trample means we could just lose from here. Frost Breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11. Frost Breath away from death. And with drawing a million there, we're probably dead. Good deck, Oppo. 12, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, yeah. Each spell is double with those two. We gotta be dead. They just need to get this Pilferer out of the way, but maybe not. Or, I mean, we have 2 blockers, so maybe we got... That's 1 blocker. Alright, now I think that's it with the trample. Very disappointed in myself. I think we could have won this, this one with tighter play against that.
Let us hear it for our poor dead friend.
Would have mattered, right? I think Haj is asking, well, you and a bunch, I did it too, right? We were debating whether or not to attack. It's funny, though, like, after talking about all the caution I was going to show for that deck, I attacked anyway, but the card I didn't think of in that decision that maybe could have altered what we were thinking about is the Crash Through. Well, see, G-Guards, we had 2 blockers, so... I don't know. It's the trample that made us have to do that, right? And if it weren't for the trample, we would have been fine. If we had considered the possibility of Crash Through, would that have caused us to not attack? Maybe because I think we had another thing that, and it's hard to do all this stuff under the clock running down, right? Our clock was heading towards, we had 0 hourglasses and we're heading towards 0 hourglasses. But if we think through all of those things, one thing I didn't add up was whether or not the 3 damage we went for changed the clock. If we didn't go for that 3 damage and we survived on the ground against Oppo's turn, did we have lethal in the air anyway? Because if so, we definitely should have stayed back because what was that 3 damage getting us? And I didn't stop to ask what the 3 damage was actually getting us that we went for that left us a little low to that lethal crackback. So looks like chat is saying we did have it, so understandable. We make calls under duress with the clock running down, but could have stayed back there to play around Crash Through and still have lethal on the crackback, it sounds like. Harsh says doesn't think we did. So again, though, it almost doesn't matter to my point or to the level up moment whether we did or not. The point is we didn't do that math. I didn't stop to think about it, right? I should have, and then we would have had a better data point to, well, As if you, just because you type something, it's true, G-Guards. All right, well, let's go get our revenge on some fools waiting in the losers bracket. I mean, it could be us. We could be the fools waiting in the losers bracket, but... Stupid goblins. F those goblins. Keep this. I'm going to lead on island again, expecting to not want to shock anything and trying to hide a little bit of our info. I mean, they could go... But, I mean, what's a one-drop we would definitely shock? Is there one that you would 100%... Because I was thinking of, like, the Chorister is maybe something you'd shock on one, but even then, I think I would wait and try to get him on activation. Selfless Savior would be good. Yeah, that's a good call, Funky. I would go ahead and fire it off on Selfless Savior because it's going to get your shock eventually anyway. So I don't know about that. I don't know if chance of Savior is better or worse than exposing shock, but you know, maybe if we exposed our shock through the information leak on Arena, they wouldn't play this Prismite or something. I mean, we can shock that, so... Especially if we don't have anything else to do here. In fact, yeah, well, we don't get the untapped draw. But nothing much else to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and shock and attack. Not gonna pay to draw next turn. If we had a 2-drop, I would, because then you could pay to draw and drop your 2. But with double Skimmer and Rain, I just want to cast one of our 4s next turn. Yeah, I didn't draw a bear. We did draw a Sure Strike, but wasn't reliable enough to pay that. I think it's correct to do what we did. Now we can see if they want to risk their battlements, and then we can decide if we want to Sure Strike it if they do block. Buckeye calling win or quit streaming because of the Radiant Fountain. Yeah, we want to get our double skimmer going. If we get 2 skimmers down and start attacking, I think we win. We'll see if they can come up with removal or air defense. It is quite the trap card, although they are in the colors of life gain. I think you could say that if you have a bunch of 1-point life gain, you could maybe combine it with Radiant Fountain to get your 3, but it doesn't really do what you want it to do, I've found. Here with the Sure Strike, I am going to take the card. And... no reason. In fact, I need the mountain to play the Sure Strike, so I got lucky to find a mountain. Yeah, I forgot about the Wingmare, but we did get there. We got there. I knew I would draw that. Right, that's what I meant. We're going to send this and have the Sure Strike ready. And... do we eat that? We got a lot to do here, And we got an experimental overload to shock the wingmare if we get another land. So I'm going to... oh, actually, we need more than that, right? We need a lot. We need multiple turns to experimental overload to get the shock back to kill a wingmare. But yeah, we have, as Ganmore says, with the plays coming up next turn, we should just use this now. Fool wants to save it, but we've got a lot going on. I don't think we're going to regret having used a Sure Strike there, given what our upcoming turn sequence is going to be. Between Overload, Skimmer, and Revelation, we got lots to do. Ouch. Let's go Skimmer, Rain. And get Overload to get back the Rain. I like that. That's a fine recovery plan. Scary Poppins wanted to keep the other Skimmer and go for that plan. That was a reasonable line, but I like the safety of overloading back our big card draw. They're not going to be trading off the Wingmare. I'm not going to draw a card here because we have a tax to pay on the overload, and if we draw the card, we can't cast the overload. I'm going to overload into Rain here. And not draw this card. It's hard, though. Maybe I should just take it. Like, should I just take the cards being given to me? That's a free card right there. Well, not free. 2-mana card. It's just that if it's not something we like, if we don't draw something to cast, we kind of don't do anything on our turn. We do draw 2 cards, though. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the gift Oppo's giving us. Yeah, we didn't quite get there on a castable, but I still like that choice. I'm gonna say no. It doesn't have weird in the title. Yeah, could have gone Island and Overload except for the tax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So as G-Pick points out, we can actually draw the card and cast the Overload next turn. So now we've got both sides of that. Frosty the Breath. Yeah, I love warded battlements, especially with flyers, but this is fine playable. I didn't need to show Oppo this before attacking, I suppose. But so it goes. Still want to attack even with it being a transparent block because of the untap clause. I would run a couple if I had a lot of small flyers. Warded Battlements is at its best with 1-power flyers, I think. 1 and 2 powered flyers. Getting those good. I suppose, yeah, Guards is pointing out we can actually discard cards to make this unblockable. Not feeling the need to do that. This gives us a discard to the Rain, for example, although we'll probably draw some other lands. I mean, we do have enough going on that pitching lands for 2 might be fine here. Maybe being conservative to worry about that for the Rain. Definitely drawing, though. shackles. Interesting. All right, now I think we Frost Breath Shackles, and that's a pretty good turn. That's going to require all of our mana, though. Oops, not Rain. Frost Breath. Let's do this and this. And I will take the G-Guard suggestion here and pitch this mountain for unblockability. We have an island we can play post-combat to get the Geist down. Not willing to give up the battlements yet. Maybe they think that's critical to their comeback chances on the crackback, but with the Frost Breath, I don't know. And if anybody out there is like, why wouldn't you play a Radiant Fountain? It only takes up a land slot and it gets you 2 life. Well, what if Oppo has a double black spell right now that they can't cast because Radiant Fountain is a Radiant Fountain instead of a Swamp? I mean, it's a real cost to affect your ability to cast your double-colored spells. It's a high bar for me to play colorless lands that aren't just like, in my mind, an extra land, like a 17th land and a 16 land deck, or an 18th and a 17. Yeah, it's almost a troll, but I think the design idea, honestly, behind life gain matters, or, you know, gaining 3 matters in Radiant Fountain is the idea that you stitch together 3, right? I think it's trying to give you a hoop to jump through of find 1 other life gain and then you get there. It's just that it's a hoop that's not worth it. Anyway, back to us. We are against this kind of black-white middling life gain deck. Do we have anything we want to add? Another Frost Breath. Nah, we don't really have anything to add, do we? Not worried about this. We just try to make our plan happen. It's interesting, though. You can put... hold on, let me think about this one. If we find blue, we do have the tutelage if we find blue. I think we got to mulligan this. This is better. And I'm actually going to pitch the breath and go Immolator into the reeds, hopefully. I was saying something and now I've completely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the reason behind including something like a trap card like that. So Radiant Fountain is pretty much a trap card, but you might even justify that by saying, well, it's a skill tester. We intentionally want to have worse players fall, because bad players, or less experienced players, as I like to say, bad is such a harsh word, less experienced players tend to fall in love with life gain cards, and they actually love a card like Radiant Fountain. So you might get a new player who is lowering their win percentage while increasing their happiness, and actually that's not a bad result for Magic, because then you all you smart people get to beat on those with the Radiant Fountains and feel good about yourself, while the Radiant Fountain player is like, this card is sweet, it gains life, I like this, and they're happy. So in a way, you could argue it's good design because of that facet. We can Waker for land to be sure of it, but I'm just getting Immolator going. If we can find a natural land, we get to fly it, and that's nice. And if we don't find a natural land, we can Waker next turn. That's true, Fenor. But then hopefully, I don't know, it's a balance, right? There is a legitimate, you know, doing the skill testing thing is a legitimate reason to do it. I'm not saying that is either why the Radiant Fountain is in the deck or that it makes it always a good thing to do, but I thought I would at least share that perspective on it. We're going to go ahead and read the Immolator. Although we could also Arcanist to threaten to trade with the Charger. I'm going to read looking for, like, our Shock or something, because then if we find a Shock, we can, like, kill the Charger and then get it back. I think we need to read and then consider our plan from there. High Flyer. Guess we're not casting this soon and we can get it back. And we can leave the Immolator back, but it's only 4/4 right now because of the prowess, so I'm going to take the attack. We're not blocking with it. I'm a little worried. It's 17, soon to be 12, or 7, I can do math, right? Yeah, soon to be 12. And they don't even have a third land yet, and they're about to put us to 12. That's intimidating, but I wasn't going to block here, so just got to take that lump. Next turn, if we find a land off the top, we can consider Arcanist Shacklegeist to 2 spell, but again, Shacklegeist does not block. I feel you, Fenor, who says, I don't have much fun beating opponents playing a lot of bad cards. It's not a challenge, and I just feel sorry for them. I'm always thinking about how they spent gems and are going to get nothing but frustration back. Well, hopefully they might get something more than that out of it. You're not them, right? But I hear you, and it's it can be tough. Now we could consider the Immolator, block and sack, and we get to play the Arcanist and leave the mana up. I think stay back. Yeah, we can use the Waker ability to find the land, I suppose. But I was... Yeah, let's do that. Okay, because then we don't need this as a blocker. Anyway, but I am looking to... Excellent. We needed that. Now we can consider the Arcanist play, but I like actually block and sack the Immolator now. They're at 2 land, so on the one hand I should be trying to press that advantage, but on the other hand I don't want to let them win on 2 land because I wasn't cautious enough on D. But what do we do? Do you not want to do this, Haj? We don't really get blown out because we get something. Like, what we can do is block the Charger. Okay. Ah, so it probably is feet. So, if it's feet, I like putting the Immolator on Prismite, making him have the feet, and then killing the Charger in response. And if they don't have feet, I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, this is probably feet, but this is fine for us. Or, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna kill... They would have... Yeah, I guess we don't have to... Herschel wants to kill it. Haj is like, don't. If we don't kill it, Haj, what's the plan, though? Just block it next turn. I don't know. So that we can trade with it? Like, why not just kill it now, then? I don't know. I'm going to kill it. The just block it next turn doesn't make any sense to me because we're talking about killing it next turn. Why not just kill it now, then? Well, I did what I did. I stand by it. I'm going to go Arcanist Reed? Or Arcanist... Oh, how about Arcanist Shacklegeist? And then next turn we can potentially Skimmer Reed. Or Skimmer... Yeah, we could have attacked... We could have spent 1 mana this turn to do it after attacking, I suppose. We might use all our mana, though. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Arcanist Reed is max mana. And the thing that would have got me off of it is if we could do something next turn to draw off Skimmer, but I can't see how we draw off Skimmer next turn. So let's just do this. I'm gonna go ahead and pitch land here, though. We got 5 now, and I just want the action. And some land anyway. Here, I like attacking, playing the land, and going Skimmer Shacklegeist. Oppo's still stuck on 2. This is not going to go well for them if they don't find a land. Kind of now-ish, and somewhat expecting a scoop if they don't. Have to block with Skimmer. What are we afraid of? My attack was bad, or their attack was bad? I'm not sure. You didn't like attacking for 2 because of we're at 7 or something? I don't know. I felt like white, we were going to be okay, but maybe I'm playing it too close. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's attack and draw a card. Definitely these 2. We could leave this back if we really want to play the defense, but we're gonna have 2 blockers. I'm in for the attacks. Hold back Geist. I don't understand. Holding because you want to do the tap thing. Why are we leaving stuff back? I guess that's what I don't understand. I understood why we would leave stuff back against double Goblin Wizard, but Haj and everybody who likes leaving stuff back, why? Are we like we're really afraid that they play a 3rd land and get us dead from 7? Flame for fame. It's part of what it's all about, buddy. Talking with chat. All right, I'm gonna do what I think is right, which is attack with it. Charger and Defiant Strike doesn't even do it though, because we have blockers. That's what I mean. I don't understand why with blockers we're so afraid of this. This would be very small. Let's just play a Singer here. I mean, what do you mean true? Or like Herschel, like you see the stuff, like the cards are all here. We can all see it, right? Ah, okay, you just didn't see it. You're not a card reader? Well, you're at the right stream. Two damage doesn't matter, presuming they don't interact with our board, but I think that's, you're just being efficient, Buckeye, but I would at least adjust your statement to say, had lethal, 2 damage probably did not matter, because look, they do things and suddenly you didn't have lethal, right? Yes, we can tap, or we can just make Pilfer unblockable. We could play that to gain some life. Do we have anything to cast here? Not to do anything immediately, so let's... they're just dead. Sorry, Oppo, we'll get you dead. Just doing the math, you know? Gotta make sure I'm doing the math. All right. Okay, picked up one win. One match win with this deck. After a close one in the first round, losing to a very nice blue-red spell tempo. That one worked out for us. Let's get some gems here, okay? This is for gems. If we can win this match, we get 1,000 of our gems back, which I would really like. But we're doing okay. If we don't win this match, it's not like we're destitute in gems. Oppo going first. Show me a land on top, and you maybe keep with the Thrill and the Waker and stuff, but we don't know there's a land on top, so I'm going to mulligan. Well, we knew there was some land on top after that shuffle got done. This is rough. I still think it's better than a random 5 with the opening shock. But we're going to have to draw to get... We're going to have to get lucky to win this one and draw out of it. But I think I would rather try and get lucky and draw stuff that we can cast rather than take a flyer on a 5-lander that might just be awful. Razor likes going to 5. I understand. And here we are. I'm going to go ahead and play the mountain and... See, someone's like chiding me because I don't know what the shortcut is for fake F6ing or whatever. It's like, I shouldn't have to. Damn it, I should not have to. I'll play Glide Master here, see if we can get down. We got down. Frost Breath feels like a 5 to you. It'll do something before the end of this game. You'll see. And let's shock and recast here. There's this pass turn button that actually has 2 modes on it, but you wouldn't know it because they don't communicate it in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, we could Thrill. I'm a little worried about the Larcenist. Are we going to have to trade off with the Larcenist? Because we could Frost Breath the Larcenist to prevent a draw. We could Thrill, though, and maybe find a blocker and then decide. I guess let's pitch an island. Let's Thrill, pitch an island. Hodge just wants to pass. Do you think they might go for something to augment it that would make us really want to Frost? Yeah, everything's an instant, but we do have 2-drops in our deck. Why main? Because we have 2-drops in our deck, right? Like, hello, anybody? I'm gonna go for a 2-drop that can block and kill this Larcenist. Hey, look, a 2-drop that can block and kill a Larcenist. Yeah. Now, though, I want to apply pressure to another mana-starved opponent, and I don't really Oh, because I wanted the Glide Master as on... I should have mentioned it, but if they had done something to kill the Magmutt, I still did want the Glide Master to offer the 2-for-1. We don't want a Larcenist to, like... We don't want him to go kill Magmutt, attack for the free card, we untap, now we start trying to Glide Master, and then they kill... You know, it could get all out of hand. Well, now Glide Master with Frost Breath available means we can just offer it. I kind of like offering a Glide Master. I'd 1-for-1 for that Larcenist. Like, the Glide Master is not really an important card for us because most of what we have already flies. And we have 2 Rousing Reeds to make the stuff that doesn't fly. And we have the Frost Breath ready if they do some shenanigans with the Magmutt or whatever. Yeah, now they've found Mountain, and we know that this is 6 spells we're up against. We're going to let them do that. See if they want to add to it. They do not. Not my favorite Frost Breath of all time. But, oh, come on, deck. This is after a Thrill of Possibility ditching a land. This was Thrill was supposed to unclog us of our flood. It has not worked. We will go ahead and attack, though, and I'm going to play out another land. I don't know, I guess we should shave land, right? That's what you do when you get flooded in one game? Completely change your mana base? Yeah, we're going to hard cast a Waker this game, right? I like it. Good thinking, Poppins. Let's do it. Yes, no hand smoothing in this best of 3 world. Huh. So we got an Arcanist, but we don't really have a dead Larcenist unless we want to double block. I think we just have to let them have cards now and try to get their... Try to just push through. I don't love it, but I think this is our plan now. They're at 9, we've got 5, and with the Glide Master, everything can fly, basically. 2 out of 3 can fly. A couple more land, which we don't want, then everything could fly. We've got Magmutt to close it out, even if they put up a board here. And if they're spending their mana on things like this, that's great, because they can have all the cards in their deck. If they only have 2 mana to spend on all the cards in their deck, all the cards in their deck don't matter. Yeah, we might not even have to, Fenor. Like, Fenor is saying, if you're going to fly 2 of 3, fly the Arcanist and the Glide Master, and then ping with the Mutt, since the Mutt can still do work from a distance. Although at that point, it's still about 4... It's about having the 4 damage per turn or not, right? So they have they've found something to do. Now we're down to 3 a turn. Funny, you can only block creatures with flying, so we're not going to give anything flying here. No flying. Sure Strike, hopefully out of the blue to win the game next turn, question mark? And let's see, if we draw a land, do we want to have another land in play? No, we can sandbag this one because a 9th land off the top doesn't do anything to affect our plan. We have a lot of card draw, so on that front, it can be worth playing lands, but I don't think we're going to regret playing sandbagging that one. You think so? Oh, you're talking about your bluff, not the land hold. Maybe holding a land is wrong, though, given the amount of card draw we have. We gotta be careful. Sure Strike gives us lethal, presuming there's no interaction or whatever. Let's see what they do with their turn. If they pass with a bunch of mana, I hardly think we're there on 6. Well, this, I think, just gives us the game, though. GG, Oppo. If they have miscast, we say the same thing. GG, Oppo. Yeah, miscast and rookie mistake. Not two cards that I'm playing around, but could have gotten us, I guess. Any more changes? Any other considerations? We're back in a mirror. This one, a little bit more... I don't know, they got the wizardry. Yeah, it's just another blue-red mirror. Yeah, tutelage not seeming like the path. Hodge suggesting tutelage out for devils, since they are looking, you know, they're actually beaten on the ground. They're playing Furor of the Bitten, right? So we can justify a card like Devils. Another Frost Breath could help contain things. Is there a higher up card we would take out for that? Like a Waker? Although I think... Still like Waker. Rob considering the Silent Dart. Pretty clunky. And it doesn't help like a overload and stuff, so I'm not going to bring in a not instant or sorcery non-creature. I think we're just going to do this. Thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. We got one to the good on getting some gems back here. And that's a fine looking start. To close it out. Glide on 2 or Hobble Fiend on 2. Maybe Hobble Fiend Reed is where we'll be here. And then with 5 lands already, I'm thinking we just try and hardcast this game. 5 lands and a plan for the next couple turns. Well, next turn. I say couple turns because we have Glide Master and Question Mark on turn 4. offering the Hobble Fiend. We could make this trade and then drop Glide Master and threaten the Larcenist with that trade. I'm just going to take this, though. They're tapped out. It means our Rousing Reed is sure to land, although we... Okay, Shacklegeist gives us a turn 4 that I like. And maybe makes me say, yeah, let's race again. I don't love letting him have a Larcenist attack, but I think we can race effectively here. And we can even pitch land, even though I want to cast this Waker. We have another Reed. We could pitch a land and still have 5 towards the Waker with multiple draws coming. I'm going to do that. Maybe that's a little greedy. And, you know, one of the reasons not to stay back and try to threaten the Larcenist is that we just are dead. Like, a shock undoes the whole plan, right? So I should just get some damage while we can. And, yeah, there's so many things they could do to make holding back the Hobble Fiend for blocks just look foolish that I'd rather just give them the card and try to race this thing. We're both going to be getting a lot of cards here, it seems, between the double Reed and the Larcenist. For the thrill. Arsonist. Huh, Magmut. And Glide Master is now not great because of the Arsonist throwing around 1 point and being able to take it out, but we can go Shacklegeist Mutt and then have Glide Master Rousing Reed the following turn. Still going to attack here on the Hobble Fiend then. Drop a couple of critters. See if they send the Larcenist. That will be a telling attack. If so, I mean, not super telling, which is the nice design of the card. Sometimes the Larcenist is attacking into bigger blockers because it's a free card, and you're just cycling your Larcenist for a card. Other times you have tricks up your sleeve, hoping to catch people like me in a spot where we think we're blocking to help them cycle their Larcenist, and it turns out we're enabling their trick. We have to decide what we want to do in the event of a Larcenist attack. I'm open to thoughts. Anybody, if the Larcenist swings, are we blocking with the Mutt? I'm inclined to block and trade for something here. Either let them cycle their Larcenist, if that's what's going on, or trade for one of the tricks in their hand. That's fine, too. Ideally, we trade for the Larcenist, but we gotta trade something. The other Flip says no block. Like, the other thing we could do is just let this happen and go for the Reed on the Magmut, and then we're just all flyers cracking in for 2, 3, 4. Like, we got a 2-turn clock in the air if we just put the Reed on the Mutt. I'm gonna do it. Best case, we just trade. They cycle their Larcenist. Worst case is still fine. Our Mutt trades for a trick or something. People do send Larcenists they can't save because it draws a card, right? That's why, again, why I think this kind of has a similar effect of must attack if able does, right? Creatures with a drawback of must attack with able, you can flip it into a benefit in the sense that opponents tend to miss block with regards to combat tricks against that kind of thing. Cool. that worked out for us, obviously. And so did that. I mean, it worked so well. We won. We could do Jumpstart. We could draft again. Let's start by wrapping this up, though. All right. 2 solid wins and a close one that maybe I could have piloted better. Maybe there was a win there in that first game. Certainly a chance at a win there in that first match, but we didn't. It slipped away from us. But I'll hop to Soapbox and thank our YouTube friends for joining us for that event. Hope you had a good time. It was interesting. Good deck. Stumbled in the first match and then cleaned up after that. Nice times. All right. See ya.